Guess I'm working. Guess it's working now. Am I live? I think I'm live. This is gonna be a pretty short stream. They really changed a bunch of stuff on YouTube here, because it used to be that you would turn on. Hello, hi Bryce Knight, welcome. You would turn on the video, you would stream it to YouTube, and then in YouTube you had to click a button to get it started. But apparently now it just starts when you hit start stream in OBS. So that's new, I think. How's the audio? I think it might be a little bit loud, but that's fine. This is going to be a short stream, tops an hour, probably shorter than that. I have gotten a really bad case of what I believe is the beginning of carpal tunnel in my right hand, which is not great. I really hope it's not, but here we are. Very clickbaity title. Welcome everyone. Audio is 5 out of 5. Very good. Thank you, Null Entropy. Just here to tell you guys about what happened since last time I streamed, because I had all these ideas that I was gonna do, and that's been 2022 and part of 2021 in a nutshell. I had all these ideas what I wanted to do, and nothing happened. So first of all, let's just tear off the band-aid. I decided to get myself a psych evaluation a while back, because I've had some issues through my life as an adult, and I figured I've always been kind of on the fence about them, but I figured finally that I really wanted to get to the bottom of it. And unfortunately, my local health clinic didn't really want to do anything with it, so I changed doctors. I got a second opinion. I got a recommendation to adult psychiatry, and basically I was diagnosed with GAD, which is general anxiety disorder, as well as probably autism, high functioning autism. So not entirely surprising. I don't think a single one of my friends have been so far shocked by this revelation. I was, because for the longest time I thought I just struggled with things because of other reasons. I don't think there's anything wrong with being autistic, of course. I never have, but I never really thought I was. I had a brief period when I was younger where I thought I was a sociopath, because I had trouble expressing emotions. I had trouble feeling emotions often. I don't know necessarily if that's related to any kind of autism, but I often, during Christmas and holidays, I would struggle with showing appreciation for gifts. I generally had trouble showing appreciation for my friends, often also socially awkward, never really felt the need for socialization, those kind of things, and that sort of always felt weird to me, but I didn't really pursue it that much. But now I found out, I think the biggest thing for me is that I have the GAD diagnosis, general anxiety disorder, which actually reveals a lot to me about how I function. Because if you recall a while back ago, sorry by the way for just listing things off, thanks everyone for showing up. I know this is not an ideal stream time, and it happened without warning, but I just wanted to tear off the band-aid. It's been a very strange month for me. But basically, a while back, I mentioned that I made a video, like an hour-long video, a high plum dog millionaire, and nothing serious. I'm just basically revealing the fact that I have been diagnosed with GAD, and a light form of autism. Probably, it's not set in stone. We decided not to pursue the autism diagnosis because I'm high functioning. I can function in society well, but I do have general anxiety disorder, and pretty severe one at that. So general anxiety disorder it manifests in many different ways. There's many different kinds of GAD, but mine is kind of perfectionist, kind of self-consciousness. It's actually very closely tied into my autism, because I have very high demands on myself. I'm very concerned with camouflaging or masking, which is a thing where if you have autism, if you're masking or camouflaging, you're basically pretending to be normal. I'm using quotation marks here. It's very new to me to consider myself as a neurodivergent person. I've never thought of that before. I thought I've been I had my special things about me, but I always thought those were just like little things. But again, like I said, none of my friends were surprised, so I guess I'm very blind to this stuff. But basically, GAD is you have this kind of overwhelming anxiety, which is oftentimes unreasonable. It's not functioning, it's not helping out at all. It's this unreasonable anxiety that comes from unfamiliar situations or situations that will cause anxiety. In my case, it's basically any kind of situation where I'm not in control of myself, where I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, where I'm at risk of screwing up or breaking something or making people upset, this is very founded in my childhood. I talked a lot with a psychiatrist about this, and basically, I'm not gonna shit on my parents or anything, but one of the most common things they would tell me is like not to talk about my interests, and to like shut up and be quiet. And I think a lot, like I screwed up a lot as a kid. I made a lot of mistakes. I broke things, I lost things. I spoke out of turn. And I kind of learned how to not do that by internalizing this kind of mantra of be normal, camouflage, hide your interests, don't talk about your hobbies. Kind of enforced when I was growing up. Like all my colleagues have always been like, I don't want to hear about your interests. I've always had trouble making friends. So I have always been very lonely in that sense. So I've been very like pushing things down in terms of what my interests. And that's obviously costs apparently some mental damage over the years. And I think this is actually the core reason why I can't deal with storytelling. I think this is like this long character arc of me coming to terms with the fact that I don't like storytelling, and then like a year later being like, oh, so this is why I don't like storytelling. Because if you recall, I spoke about this like last fall. I said I always feel uncomfortable, I always feel nervous, I always feel like there's a lot of pressure put on me, and that is because I'm in a situation, storytelling a game, where there are a lot of expectations on me, and I'm also deathly afraid of screwing up, I'm deathly afraid of making wrong decisions, while I simultaneously put myself into this situation many times. It's a lot of pressure for perfectionism. Like perfectionism is my GAD is perfectionism, basically. Together with this kind of constant dissatisfaction with my own performance, constant evaluation of how I'm doing, constant evaluation of how much worse I am compared to everyone else. It's kind of a self-perpetuating cycle. And the problem with anxiety and GAD is that it's self-perpetuating, because when you get anxious, you kind of try to get away from what's making you anxious. But the problem is, if this is what's making you anxious, you can't get away from it. So it kind of just becomes this loop, this recursive loop of feeling terrible about things. And you might have probably noticed there's been a very large lack of content on this channel for a long time, and the reason is, quite frankly, because I've taken a huge hit to my self confidence. Part of it is because my channel is pretty big right now. It's very big. I hit 17,000 today, or like yesterday, which is crazy. I never thought I would get this big on my channel, and I get a lot of views. I get like 100,000 views a month, which is kind of scary. So a lot of people show up. I'm very thankful. I still read all the comments, by the way, even the ones where people are very angry about me saying good things about V5. I read all the comments. And if people have been like keeping track, I'm taking the wins wherever I'm getting them. The thing is, though, like I genuinely don't feel like I deserve this win, because there are so many people in this community who put so much more effort and work into their community than I do, and I'm like sitting on my ass and I'm getting views, basically. I love and appreciate this community a lot. Like the council, the Primogen Council is amazing. I don't regret any of these 3 years of this channel. I think it's been an amazing journey. I've had a lot of fun. I'm gonna keep doing things, but just as a side note, I'm like pausing Patreon. I'm not gonna charge anyone for anything because I haven't done jack. for a long time, and that kind of really burns my ass about it, because I don't want people to pay me money for not doing anything. I'm gonna do the stream next Sunday in 2 weeks, so Sunday the 8th, no, 7th, I'm gonna be doing my charity stream, just to get things going. And I have a bunch of scripts ready that I've actually recorded. Hi, hi, SNI Draco. Hi. I have a bunch of scripts done. I have a bunch of books that I'm reading, but every single time I turn on my microphone to record, I think I've recorded one of these scripts like 4 times, I feel this overwhelming kind of dissatisfaction with the quality of the content I'm making. And it's kind of got, the thing is, this is coupled together with the kind of pressure that I'm feeling of being this big as a channel, because again, like, there are a lot of content creators making World of Darkness content that put in a lot more work and effort into their content than I do. Hey, thanks, how you doing? Welcome. Also, Skeleton King, welcome. And I feel it's kind of unfair that I'm doing half-assed stuff and getting a lot of views. And it doesn't matter if what I'm doing is half-assed or not. Like, this is my cat is sharpening her claws on the treadmill because she's angry at me because I'm making sounds. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm one of the big fish in a community that's growing, and it's kind of it's kind of taking its toll. Yeah, I remember what we talked about. The thing is, like, I didn't think that this diagnosis was affecting me a lot. So everybody in their own harsh critic. No, the harsh criticism doesn't mean fair. You need to distance yourself from your feelings and objectively look at it. That is the problem. I have a huge trouble objectively looking at my own stuff. Dustin, thank you. Thank you for dropping by. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the council. Happy you enjoy my content. Sorry there hasn't been a lot of new content recently. At least you aren't like this Brent guy who puts pro-Trump shit in their videos. Silly you. I put BLM stuff in my videos, so I'm not one to talk. I don't do politics on my channel anymore. I took the BLM logo away a while ago. My Twitter is a different thing. Don't go there if you don't want my political opinion. But I try to stick strictly to the content. Like, I try not to even be judgy when talking about anything in Vampire, because obviously there's easy ways to draw parallels to real life stuff in Vampire the Masquerade, which is why I'm very careful in treading that line. I think 2019 was a different time. Very different time. So that's just how it was. But, or was I? The problem is I struggle with not looking at myself very critically. Christian Bublit, thank you so much for liking my stuff. Andy, thank you. It's hard. It's hard to have a break this big, because I was churning out content for a really long time, and I genuinely regret not doing it as much anymore. But it's just incredibly difficult to be satisfied with what I'm doing. I'm really happy, Andy, that you like my content as well. I have read some comments. I think I mentioned this during my last stream that I'm kind of boring, kind of slow, and I'm talking very basic stuff, which I will happily take, because there are channels out there. Lazaro Sigia, for example, makes absolutely banger content, but it's 50 minutes long. It's for people who are fairly familiar with the setting. Correct me if I'm wrong. That belongs in this community too. I like that content, but my stuff was always supposed to be pretty short and pretty basic stuff. Discord. I'll drop an invite link to the Discord if people want to join. I don't see any problems with that. Hold on, let me get an invite. How do I do that? Let's see here. Invite people. Yeah, this will expire in 7 days. This is good. There is a Discord, an amazing community. Not thanks to me, but thanks to all the cool people hanging there. But yeah, I think, yes, like I said, Dustin, thank you, on the topic of my health. I didn't think that this diagnosis was affecting me. Like, I was I was I don't even know the term. I was happy about this, you know. I was like, okay, cool. I have autism. I have GAD. Cool. We can deal with this. I can get medication. I can do whatever. Obviously not medication for autism, but for anxiety. There's medications for that. Okay. Enjoy washing your face, and then hope you have a good time at the market, Skeleton King. But my wife actually told me that, well, not even my wife. I realized that I was being extremely sensitive. Like, thank you. I was like very on edge, and it kind of came to, I think I was just like, I don't want to be babied. And that's like my cardinal sin. Pride is like my cardinal sin. I don't like to be under, what's it called? I don't like to be, considered like incapable, I guess is the word. I can tell you that knowing about it and making adjustments to get the best life you can really does help. Everyone is different, but knowing helps. Yeah, Lilith, Soul Exalted, I absolutely agree. After this, I mean, I'm already feeling much better about myself. My cat is here. Come here, Roma. Come here. Distract me. Come here, Roma. Nope. Okay, she ran away. Never mind. But yeah, I do feel a lot better about myself. It takes practice to disengage with the anxiety. Like a few years ago, this process I had to learn ways of managing it. Some days are good, some are more difficult. Asmina, thank you very much. Mary M, thank you very much. I'm glad you like the channel. But yeah, anxiety is probably what I'm gonna have the most trouble dealing with, because the autism stuff is fine. Like I have removed myself from storytelling because it makes me anxious. So, and that's part of my autism. That's like that's just how I am as a person, and that makes it easier for me to deal with, because I know that it's not that I haven't done it enough, it's not that I'm not prepared enough, it's not that I'm not doing it with the right people, because these were all arguments I was going through my head, like, why don't I like storytelling? Do I not like the people I'm doing it with? Do I not like doing it because of the setting? Like, I've tried so many different systems. Do I not like it because I'm not prepared enough? I have this huge cork board. Hey, don't hiss at each other. I don't know what they're doing. Cats are being weird. I had this huge like board with the lion straw and the nails and everything like that. So much planning. Still didn't enjoy it. Turns out I don't enjoy it because it gives me anxiety. There you go. So I might return to storytelling at some point, because I am actually trying out some medication now. I have started on something called, I think they're called beta blockers. I don't know if I have any of them here, but basically they're like yeah, I had a murder map. Yeah, like basically a huge murder map for Stockholm by Night. It was insane. But I was doing that for my patrons, and I had to cancel it because it just gave me so much anxiety. Yeah, I've been playing on and off since 1998, to be honest. VTM and Mage for the ones that everyone's understood. Mage is incredibly difficult to just get your head around. I don't think I understand it. Mage probably, in my opinion, has the weakest meta plot as well, which makes it really difficult to find like an entryway into it. Because it requires, I'd say Mage is probably the highest bar to get into it in terms of like understanding the setting. Vampire has the lowest. Werewolf kind of low as well. Wraith is a problematic game in the sense that it's like it can go in a lot of different directions. Mage, I feel like Mage and Wraith are kind of in the same ballpark in that they have a kind of weak meta plot going on that makes it really difficult to get new players into it. Yeah, I'm not going to show them. Thank you. I'm not going to show the medicinal stream, but I do have beta blockers, I think they're called. So my anxiety, because of suppression, because of camouflaging, because of years of like not dealing with it, my anxiety manifests physically. I get like very tense. I always struggle with like a really tense jaw. My jaw is constantly tense. I have headaches, stiff neck, joints stiff everywhere, and also sweating, racing heart, loss of like advanced brain functions to some degree. Like if you drop me down in a party full of people that I don't know, uh, I will freak out. Like I will legitimately freak out. I freak out in airplanes because of like the lack of control I have. So these beta blockers, as far as I understand them, they just turn that off. They don't deal with the brain in terms of anxiety, so I still get the thoughts, but I don't get like the physical symptoms of anxiety, which is like really good, because I've been in a couple of situations where I've felt super anxious, but my body's been like, it's cool, and that's helped me a lot, because it helps me kind of mentally deal with it. Because when you get into that feedback loop of physical anxiety, your brain just shuts down because it's like fight or flight mode or whatever, and that's really scary. So it feeds into itself because you realize you're getting stressed out, so you get more stressed out about it. But these beta blockers just they turn off the adrenaline, nothing happens. So thank you, modern medicine. Huge props to beta blockers, because I don't think I should take anything more. I'm not depressed, as far as I know. And my anxiety is not like crippling on the level where I don't function. It's just that I have huge performance anxiety. Ironically, I'm a teacher. And ironically, I've been reviewing my life as a teacher for like 12 years. I have had minor anxiety attacks literally every day for the last 12 years. Like hair loss. I've been losing my hair, and I'm like, why am I getting hair loss? Because I've been putting myself into anxiety-inducing situations on a daily basis for 12 years. I don't want to teach anymore. It's kind of like my entire life has just flipped over, and it's terrible and it's terrifying, and I just want to work in a library and never talk to people. I want to work in an archive in a really unimportant location where nobody ever comes, and I just want to have a filing system and file stuff. That's like where I'm at right now. Oh yeah, Pearl, I relate a lot to Pearl in Steven Universe, silly you. Absolutely. So like, yeah, there's the inherent problem in Wraith that you're literally playing from moving on from the Wraith world. Yeah, exactly. Wraith is just like Demon. It's a cool concept, but it's hard to pull off in execution. As a mage player who's into the World of Darkness is actually mage, I fully agree. It's best to use when you have already introduced plays. Exactly. Lilith, I agree with you. Vampire Werewolf is an excellent starting point. You want to play that for a while, then you can branch off into the other games. I went through something similar, Marek. I got diagnosed with ADHD and my anxiety almost completely disappeared once I get meds for it. I'm so happy for you. Like, I've been wanting to be on meds for like 5 to 10 years, but my local medical practitioner was like, there's nothing wrong with you. So like, okay, apparently there's nothing wrong with me. There was, but she was just incompetent. But yeah, if you're not happy, get a second opinion. I changed medical practitioner, bam, I was on the fast track to getting an actual like licensed psychiatrist or psychologist to evaluate me. Psychiatrist, I think. I should be an engineer. Yeah. I mean, I'm terrible with visualization. This is another problem I have. I'm really, really bad at visualizing stuff. And I like to think that I learned socializing from movies. Like I learned socializing and body language and like communication through movies, which is like I love shows like BoJack Horseman, because I like shows like BoJack Horseman and Better Call Saul. I've mentioned them many times because they have believable characters. I'm hyper attuned to that kind of storytelling. I don't like movies with bad characters in them. I feel like I should be with anxiety. I work in IT in school. The amount of times I have to hide in the storage room just to breathe has made me rethink my workplace. John Mason, I feel for you. If you get physical symptoms, consider looking into getting beta blockers. From what I know, they're like not addictive at all. They're usually used for people with heart problems. Mine is like usually given to people who have heart issues. But I take like 2 before I have to do something I know is going to cause me anxiety, and it just mellows me out. It calms me down. Josh Lee, any chance of you covering specific locations regarding Vampire Society? I have a lot of by night books here, and that's definitely in the works. I really want to apologize, and I know people are going to say I shouldn't, but I really, really want to apologize for the lack of content. Believe me, it's been on my mind constantly. There is content in the work. It's just I have had to deal, like, it's been a shitty year in general for me, in terms of like self-discovery, because it's just I've lost I've lost my feet off the ground. It's basically, that's what I can say. I've completely lost myself into the air. I floated around. I have seriously questioned myself as a content creator. I had an absolute burnout around the end of the year. I just couldn't even log into anything. You can ask Huddy, for example, like, okay, this is gonna be a little bit behind the stage stuff here. Huddy, forgive me if but like I literally vented about the Blood on the Grand Strand when we were playing it, because I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was extremely frustrated with how things were happening regarding my character. And in hindsight, it makes perfect sense. It was because I was not having control. There's a lot of stuff happening in Blood on the Grand Strand. Go watch it, by the way. A great actual play. Huddy is an amazing storyteller. But I was in a situation where I was not in control of what was happening. And that was just the last straw for me, because in my personal life, I was experiencing similar things. This is why I went to the doctors to get diagnosed. And why my anxiety and my autism is very much revolved around my lack of control. Like it's the worst experience for me, not having control. So I had this, I actually lashed out after the stream, and I'm extremely sorry for that, Huddy, if you're ever gonna watch this, because she's an amazing sweetheart. And I was like, I'm so angry, I can't do it. Like I didn't like be mean to her, but it was my frustration with my life. I didn't have any control over what was happening in the Grand Strand, so I felt like everything was crumbling around me. It was called a crisis. Yeah. it's healthy to have a crisis. Yeah, sorry, I'm really not keeping up with the chat. I'm gonna catch up to you. But Huddy von Schland, community manager for World of Darkness, a beautiful soul, an amazing person, and I love her so much, and I'm so glad she wrote that out, and we're still friends. I apologize, and I'm gonna apologizing again. But yeah, if I seem tense while playing those games, it was because in my mind I was like freaking out constantly. Let's see here. I'm gonna catch up to the chat. Montreal by Night. Yeah, I have the books here. I have a Montreal by Night video coming, which is not really all about Montreal. It's about coterie there, but that is next step. I'm gonna cover a couple of bloodlines and clans for Vampire, and then I'm gonna go to the cities. So just in case my mom thinks getting a diagnosis will ruin my life, did you deal with discrimination anyway? So not getting jobs. Silly you. Is it you? EWU. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm lucky enough that I'm very established in my career, so I haven't have to deal with discrimination. I got my diagnosis literally like half a month ago, and as a teacher, I have summer holidays, so I haven't even told my boss yet, but I don't think it will be an issue. Now, I'm on a very light end of the spectrum. I don't need medication for anything more than my anxiety's physical manifestations. But I've proven myself as a competent teacher. And it's different from country to country, but I don't think people can look you up in terms of having a diagnosis. Discrimination, no, absolutely not in my experience. Probably the most for myself, because I've really been kind of giving myself a raw deal over it, I guess. As SNI Draco, happy that you started out my content so recently. There's quite a bit of stuff to look through. Josh Lee, it's cool. I started a London by Night game, and I've been watching your stuff over and over to have it all sink in. It's very helpful. I'm very happy to hear that. That's also, I think, one of the huge props of doing 10-minute contents is that you can really like make something that's easy to digest and listen to over again. Bob Birkins, absolutely, it's healthy to have a crisis. Andrea, don't worry, your safety and mental health is much more important than some videos. I agree, but I also think that making a couple of videos, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So I am gonna be harsh on myself. Don't worry. Deagle Ninja, I disagree. Making videos is the best way to deal with anxiety. Getting back on that horse, absolutely the best way I think to deal with it. Do you think this might influence what your preferred clan or clans will be in the future? Fangs, good question. I've certainly actually, I'm gonna be honest, I've been like, I should give Malkavians a shot. Not because like, not neurodivergent, but I've been like, I've always had this absolute conviction that I'm normal. And this is internalized. This is thanks to my mom. Sorry, Mom, I'm going to call you out here because she's dead set on me. Like, you have to be normal. You have to be normal. So I've been like, for a long, like I said earlier in the stream, for a long time I was like, I'm a sociopath. I'm a sociopath. There's no other reason for it. I'm just very good at masking it, but I'm not. I'm autistic. But Malkavians, I think I have just this extremely internalized disgust for people who are not ashamed of themselves not being normal, and that's absolutely deflecting. I'm going to try to explain here as best as I can. I've always been ashamed of my interests. I've always been ashamed of how weird I am. I've always been ashamed of how I've not been able to do things that people should normally be able to do, which is honestly not even true because I had to grow up pretty young. I got a lot of responsibilities when I was a kid. So whenever I see people who are cringe or people who are acting out their hobbies or cosplaying in the open or anyone who's proud of their nerdiness, I've always been like, cringe. My sister loves Big Bang Theory. Now, there's a lot of stuff you can say about Big Bang Theory. I don't think it's a good show, but I'm allergic to that stuff. I am allergic to it because it's so internalized. My absolute contempt for people not masquerading as normal people. So Malkavians are kind of, in a sense, they're that, they're out and open. They're not hiding who they are unless that's your specific clan flaw. So that to me was always like the ultimate cringe. I don't want to use these terms, but I'm sorry. So I was always very like, about Malkavians because they were something I never had the guts to be. So that's, I don't know. I'm going to have to reevaluate my clans and stuff like that. Let's see here. Lilith, everyone is different. Mental health is important as emotional and physical health. Focus on taking care of yourself, even if it means videos and other materials to slow down. I am absolutely taking care of myself. I'm dealing with something that I've probably been suffering from for many, many years. I used to run a channel called Swede Fighters, together with two friends of mine. I've had the t-shirt on a couple of times. Don't look it up. It's a very mediocre Let's Play channel, and I don't say that to be mean to anyone involved. We did our absolute best. I still find the content really funny. Like I reviewed our videos. There's nothing wrong with the content. It's just mediocre. It doesn't stand out. And there's so much of that on YouTube. We never really hit it off. But I was having minor meltdowns on a monthly basis because of that channel. Like I was obsessing over the numbers. I was obsessing over our performance. I was getting into fights with the guys. I was like, you should be doing this. You should be playing off each other. We should take improv lessons. I took improv lessons for that. I was devoting myself to this channel, and it just never took off. And the 1 year from where we turned, I did Swede rolls as well. We did some actual plays as well. I still firmly believe that if you're looking to make content that's going to be popular, don't do actual plays. You're never going to be Critical Role. If you're in for the numbers, if you're having fun doing it, do it. But actual plays, it's too much to ask random people to sit down for 4 hours to get to know you. Do it with famous people. And if you're new to GMing or storytelling, never do it as a first thing, because you will literally, it's a horrible experience. I don't want to, it's so stressful. But I had a year break from that and starting the Primogen channel, and that was probably the worst year of my life. I don't even remember 2018 that much, to be honest. Quite frankly, I think I've like forgotten about it because it was a miserable year, because I wasn't creating anything. I was just playing games. I was trying to improve my personal health. Didn't really go that well either. Oh, it's you. Okay, it's pronounced as you. So I wanted to create stuff, so I made the Primogen channel because I was like, I can make controlled content. It can be very niche. We'll try it, and it was surprisingly successful. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, basically, I've been dealing with this for a very long time, and finally, I have like the key. I'm doing CBT, by the way, as well, like cognitive behavior therapy. There's a cat jumping. Cognitive behavioral therapy, which I just got started on, and I've heard it's got good results. I haven't done it yet. I'm very skeptical to therapy, to be honest, because I think part of my issue with autism is that I have a really kind of a stubborn idea about a lot of things. It takes a lot of convincing to make me believe something that I know it's not right. So autism, thanks autism. It's been fucking me over for a long time. But I can use it. I can channel it. Like I wouldn't have been able to make this channel if I didn't have the drive that it's given me. So I'm very thankful to that part of my personality as well. Like if I want to do something, I do it. And I can thank autism for that. Ever since my dad died in 2014, I've literally gone full on, no breaks, just do whatever I want to do, which has been really good for me in that sense. Oh, Christian, you're from Montreal. Cool. I love that setting. Bob Barkins too. So a lot of research suggesting that making videos can cure anxiety and autism. You're joking, Deagle, but honestly, I kind of feel like making content actually makes me happier. You're in Sherbrooke now, okay. It's normal because people all do things that meant to believe me. I laughed at myself at this thinking of such negative things. Remember my older brother said, what were people wearing? Eat whatever you like. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I mean, you look back at your past self and you're like, ugh, cringy. Obviously, Ventrue is the best clan because they are the only one who doesn't have a flaw. Having a refined taste is not a flaw. Absolutely, Draco, I agree with you. Ventrue are the best clans. I've come around, like, full circle in Ventrue. I love Ventrue. They're like the... they're genuinely good leaders. Like, a lot of people meme about Ventrue, but they are good leaders, and I appreciate that. My god complex dictates that Tremere is the best clan for me. I also like Tremere. In fact, I'll never forgive White Wolf for what they did in V5. I think, Andrea, I agree with you, but I think White Wolf had to do what they did. They had to do it to them because Tremere were just so powerful. They were just too good. They stole their power. Let's not forget. But it doesn't matter if you stole your power if you're owning it. Salubri, it sounds like a branch of dental floss. I don't know. Stole from the righteous or took it from the weak? Yeah, no one else did it except Giovanni's, but I don't see them talking about it. Good question, we silly kitties. When I see it, you're kind of super smart. Bob Berkins, absolutely. Autism, my wife described it as a superpower. She said that that's my superpower. I'm gonna try to see it that way. I really, the problem I have is that I'm very motivated by my emotions, unfortunately. So like I said earlier, the fact that I'm now like I'm at 17,000 followers, 100,000 views a month, it is it makes it incredibly difficult for me to live up to the Chris from a year ago, the Primogen from a year ago, Primogen from 2 years ago when I was like full of fire, I was like shooting at videos left and right. It's really difficult to catch up to that. I'm having a lot of struggling with that. I've definitely channeled attention to detail and carrying into this channel. TS, I'm glad you like it that way. The rape, once you see therapist is the rapist, you'll never see it. I guess it's true. Breasts or buttocks? Give me a second to think about that one. Yes, I'm gaming with it. Hi Victor, happy to see you here as well. Happy that you can catch it. Sorry for the clickbaity title, but TLDR, I've got autism and GAD. So that's a big reason for why there's been a lack of content, because I've been trying to deal with that. Wouldn't surprise me if crippling anxiety is something Tremere have to deal with. Oh, absolutely. Tremere are perfectionist GADs, all of them. Like, absolutely. You don't want a Tremere to visit a psychiatrist, because that's a route. Once you started going down that road as a Tremere, you won't be the same. Love to see you back here. Captain Hugs been getting into VTM since last year, and your content has been really helping me understand the lore. Captain Hugs, I'm really happy to hear that. I'm really happy that my content is helping people. Like I mentioned, Okay. No, shit, I hid your question. Sorry. I deleted the message by accident. The message was breast or buttocks. I like breasts. There you go. I like breasts. Easy. Did White Wolf come up with a book about Alien? they had the Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand. Not a great book. Tremere would drive the psychiatrist to suicide. Yeah, they would. Absolutely. They have very strong mental walls. Since my friend made us play VTM during quarantine and I needed someone to teach me what the fuck is Malkavian, your channel was invaluable help. Very happy to hear that, Victor. Malkavians, I strongly recommend. I always recommend getting the revised edition era, like 3rd edition, basically, clan books. 2nd edition clan books, they're very try-hard. Some of them are good, most of them are not. But revised era clan books, this is not going to show because they're... Oh wait, it's actually going to show, hold on, because they're black. I don't remember. These are amazing. Some of the best reads you will get in Vampire the Masquerade. They're available for print on demand from Drive-Thru RPG, and they're available as PDFs as well. Get them. If you have a clan you want to play, these are the only books you need. The V20 lore of the clans is good, but they give like 4 pages to every clan. This is like, I don't know how many pages this is, 100? Yeah, it's about 100 pages. You can't beat this. It's really good. It's a history, it's archetypes, it's expansion on merits and flaws. Could a Garou and a vampire be lovers like in Romeo and Juliet? I absolutely think so. I think, especially Garou living in cities, will probably be more inundated, more used to the presence of the Wyrm. And if you have a high humanity vampire, they won't smell that bad. I think it could work. Absolutely. Silly you. Yeah, for 7 seconds, and then the Garou rages. Also, by the way, get a Fenris. Yeah, I don't know if you've read on the news, but they're gone, baby. They're no longer part of the Garou Nation. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because I honestly would have preferred them I would have liked it to have them around, but have some serious changes going on in the tribe. Honestly, I think the tribes are silly you, yeah. I think the tribe system is stupid in Werewolf the Apocalypse. It tried to be Vampire the Masquerade because it came out right after. 13 tribes to match the 13 clans. Bad idea from the start because a lot of them are kind of contrived and a little bit too similar. Yeah, in Vancouver, Garou and Vampire work together. Yeah, it's definitely not unheard of. Can be more focused, but tends to be both blessing and a curse. As long as you know it, glad your content helps you out. It can sure be helping me with first Vampire games. Thank you. Lightweaver, I'm glad I'm helping you out. And yes, absolutely. Knowing what I know now, absolutely my personal life is doing much better. I'm still kind of floating. I've sort of just lost all routine, but that's also because it's summer. But I am moving forward feeling much better about things. But yes, one big realization was that, guess what? It's not normal to feel absolutely miserable when hanging with your friends and running a game for them. I mean, okay, I'm using the word normal a lot here, but yeah, this is literally the source of my inability to run games and have fun. Even playing games can be very stressful for me, which is horrible. However, I have something in mind. I'm not going to make any promises because we know where those goes, but I have something in mind for the channel, which is kind of like me storytelling, but in a very weird way. So we'll see where that goes. And catch up to the chat again. Here's the thing. 1, don't take the criticism regarding being boring to heart. Your style of videos, I think, was very good to me when I started getting into VTM since the more expressive vids were. A bit of a turn off for me. I guess you said they were a bit too cringy. Take, for example, Lore by Night. If I had come across this video first, it would have been reinforced the stereotype I have about TTRPG plays, super nerdy D&D plays. Alright, I get where you're coming from. I really like Lore by Nights. definitely very different content from me. We make very, very different content. Like, not necessarily about the same. We talk about similar stuff, but we approach it from two very, very different perspectives. When I was talking earlier about people who really put a lot of effort into their community, Lore by Night is one of them. Absolutely, he goes that extra mile to make people feel welcome. I'm kind of jealous of his community, not like the people in part of his community, because my community is obviously the best one. My Discord community, but the fact he seems to have such an easy time and good time hanging with his community. Meanwhile, I constantly feel like I'm not paying anyone any attention, and I'm just like isolating myself. He's great. Yeah. I totally hear you though. Like, a big reason I started making my videos is because people made these 50-60 minute long videos that was very in character. They were very dramatic, very like gentleman gamer. I love his stuff, but I don't have the attention span to pay attention to that stuff that he's talking about. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do basically what Jordan does. Jordan, the PH is silent. That's actually my major inspiration for when I started my channel. He was like, no nonsense, less than 10 minutes. This is the lore. Here we go. That was my approach when I started, and it worked well for me. Let's see, in my werewolf game, one of my players had a vampire lover who got framed for a crime and the other players had to help them. I think it's really good, Silly You. I think it's good to mix vampire and werewolf. Those are probably the two settings that work really well. Mage works with almost everything. Hi, Hash Dragon. I'm happy you like my videos. I do the pyramid justice. Thank you. Yes, Tremere and Simitsi, or they're practically the same clan. They're some of my favorites, absolutely. Yeah, Plumdog Millionaire. I don't think I know you're not shit talking Storytell by Night, so don't worry. Oh, I mean, Lore by Nights. I had to stand up for him because I think his content really is great. It's just very, very different from mine. The in-character style of vids, it's difficult for me because again, it comes to that whole like feeling cringy about my own interests. So I do have a hard time role playing. Like my Tremere video, how to play Tremere when I'm pretending to be a Tremere, I can't watch it. It's so cringy. I hate it. And Schizoid Robot, thank you for introducing your favorite settings of the World of Darkness, and of course VTM and Hunter the Reckoning. It's been a big influence in my taste in games. Oh, I'm very happy you like it. I have still to get to Hunter the Reckoning, the new games, but I'm so happy they made them because that was the right choice by White Wolf. And I've read some of the book. It's really good stuff. You enjoy both styles. Yeah, exactly. Like they're two different styles. But I do think like having an entryway into this kind of esoteric setting, because this ain't Dungeons and Dragons, baby. This is Vampire the Masquerade. This is World of Darkness. We don't believe in things being simple. I think I'm really happy that I made my channel, because to me it feels like it gives a more grounded introduction to the setting. Because I do agree. Like I started watching the World of Darkness documentary. I literally can't, because I can't not cringe when watching that. And it's not their fault, it's my fault. But I am so allergic to people being themselves, and I just have to deal with that. That's something I have to deal with. Andrea, the how to play videos are my favorite, especially the Tremere one with the cosplay. It's so embarrassing though. It's so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed about it. Hi, music and stuff. Welcome. I recently had my character become a white because he failed a second diablerie. Oh my god. I love that and I hate it. I'm so sorry he became a white, or they became a white, but that's good storytelling. Hi, Medical Rubik Kelu. I think Wraith works better with VTM now, or Werewolf, especially with the Hekata stuff and the tying of Oblivion to the Abyss, despite some of my hangups. Plumdog, I agree with you. I'm gonna go out and say it again. I really, Geist and all that stuff, all the spin-offs, Wraith is the OG. Wraith is better. Wraith is simply better, and it's a fucking crime that they stopped making Wraith, because Wraith is absolutely one of the best games they made. It's just too goddamn dense. Nobody wants to play it. But Wraith is really, really bleak and really, really cool, and I love Wraith. And all my Wraith videos have performed incredibly poorly. Otherwise, I would have made more. I don't think any of them have even hit 4 digits in terms of views. I don't blame people. Wraith is hard to get into. Sorry, you may have addressed this, but do you plan on going into the other non-mainstream games like Mage? I have actually, Josh Lee. They might be hidden on my channel a little bit, but I do have covered. I think I've covered every single old World of Darkness game. I did the whole in-depth thing into Demon, the Forsaken, Demon the Fallen, Forsaken. No, that's the new World of Darkness. It's Chronicles of Darkness. I did the whole video series on Demon the Fallen. So yes, I have covered the other games. I've done a lot of Werewolf. A lot of Werewolf, mostly Vampire, Werewolf, then Demon, basically everything, because there ain't much to know about Demon. Mage, Changeling, Wraith, and Hunter I've done less for. I think Wraith is the one I've done the most for, but I stopped doing Wraith, which is actually, that was like the beginning of my downfall, because I got so disillusioned with the lack of response from that one. I was like, oh my god, people hate these videos. So I just stopped doing Wraith, and that really, that's where my self-confidence just went, because Werewolf was doing okay. Wraith, nobody wanted to watch that stuff. Let's see here. I've only played D&D, but love learning about this universe. So cool. Harry S. Boylan. I'm going to assume it's Harry S. Boylan. If you like the role-playing aspects of D&D, you will absolutely love World of Darkness, because they're two very, very different games. Very different games. I wouldn't even put them on the same table, to be honest. Like, D&D to me is more like a combat simulator with role-playing. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I love the combat simulating aspects. It's just very different from Vampire. Also, the meta story is much more grounded, I feel, in Vampire, in the sense that it's not like D&D. Okay, I do this every stream, but D&D for me feels like a funnel. It feels like a funnel where the higher your level is, the more specific your story gets. Like, right? Because there's only so many creatures that can challenge you in D&D. And ultimately, you're like fighting against demon lords and whatever you want, and you go Planescape, you go like multiverse, all that kind of stuff. Vampire, I feel, never really gets to that point, because the point of Vampire isn't to level up. This is my opinion, obviously, but point of Vampire is the drama role-playing, the humanity loss, all that stuff. So you never really get to the point like, oh, I'm gonna diabolise an antediluvian, because that's like, that, I mean, you can get there. Obviously, there's plenty of games that got there, but it has a different feel than when you're level 20 and you're fighting Orcus, you know. It's a completely different game at that point. Is there any other setting for a system that is like Hunter, but with humans being actual humans, not imbued magical hunters? Victor, good question. Hunters Hunted. Or, fuck, what is the other game? It's really, really old. Yeah, Hunters Hunted. Get Hunters Hunted. That is basically the Vampire the Masquerade source book for hunters, vampire hunters. Really good book. It's like 2nd edition, I think, but it's still valid. As someone who wants to introduce this group into Vampire the Masquerade, do you have any advice for first-time storytellers? Sam Raid. If you want to introduce your players to Vampire the Masquerade, have them play Bloodlines. Legitimately the best way to get introduced to the setting. Bloodlines is amazing. Sorry if my eyes keep like going to the side like I'm lying. I'm looking at my OBS. I should just close down OBS. There we go. Basically, have them play Bloodlines. That is the best introduction you can give them. Bloodlines is perfect for that. Otherwise, you can have them watch LA by Night. LA by Night, top tier actual play. First season is my favorite. It's really, really good. First and second season are my favorites. It's still very, very good afterwards, but those are like, first season I think is by far my favorite season. Really good introduction, Sam Reed, to it, if you want to introduce them to it. And then when you're playing a game, make sure you have a session zero. Session zero, everyone sits down and talks about what their expectations are, so you're all on the same page when you start playing, because that's super important in Vampire. Too many people in LARP, I get you on the spiritual level. Yeah, I tried Vampire LARPing for a while. It really wasn't my thing. It's not my thing. I just started playing Vampire Masquerade. Love the dark setting, music and stuff. It's great. I agree. World of Darkness is great. It's really a really good setting. It's like a super, really well-made setting. Have I ever played Nephilim? No, I don't think I have. Bob Berkins. I don't think I've played Nephilim. Andrea Bispaciani. Andrea, my starting point was a campaign hosted on Twitch by Intel, which is the Critical Role of Italy, also called Augustus Sanguinorum, and I've been recommending it to all my friends. I feel like if you're getting into like hard role-playing vampire streams, vampire actual plays that are like hardcore role-playing, like LA by Night, which LA by Night, they never break character. I really, really like that. One of the reasons I can't with Critical Role is because, first of all, the combats take like 2 hours, and I don't want to skip them because I'm autistic, and I don't want to skip anything that might be important 20 episodes later. Thanks, brain. And I can't deal with the breaking of character, which is fine in a home game, but if I'm watching on an actual play, I don't want character breaking, which is why I really like LA by Night. What's the demon videos? I'll have to look again for the others. Yeah, Josh, there should be playlists. I think they should be up to date. If you go to playlists on my channel, there should be for the others as well. What's the best RPG from the universe for noobs to it? Play D&D 5e, but no, that's super simple in comparison. Harry S. Bolan, vampire or werewolf? Preferably vampire, because vampire has aged the best. They're making a new werewolf now. But Vampire the Masquerade, absolutely the best introduction to the setting, by far. Easy to get into. You have a very good reason not to know anything about the setting, because you're a neonate, recently embraced. There's a huge amount of content online to getting into it, like my videos obviously, but there's many different content creators, and vampires are like intrinsically bound to humanity, which is why I don't like about werewolves so much. So vampires are very human in that sense, so they're an easy transition. Hunter, not great. Hunter the Reckoning, the old game, not great. The new game is really good. Changeling, but Changeling I would even consider its own game because it's so separate from everything else. I do hope Wraith the Oblivion eventually gets a new edition. Magica Rubik, I really hope so too. I think them killing the setting was one of the biggest, dumbest mistakes they ever made. The other changing breeds, I don't know what this is referring to, but I'm assuming you mean that I don't like. I have a mixed bag feeling about the changing breeds. I like the Korax. I don't like most of the other ones. I really don't like Weresharks for many reasons. I think the Mokole, they're pretty cool. I think it's Mokole, how you pronounce them. We see after Werewolf. We'll see what happens after Werewolf. Fujin, no shame with having GAD. I have it as well, and also social anxiety. I think I may also have PTSD, but I want to wait to have proper evaluation before I go diagnose myself. But anxiety disorders are frequently undervalued by people not in the know about them and how powerful they are. They affect everything we do. I can definitely understand what you're dealing with. Fujin, thank you very much. Fujin Raijin, a good reference to Final Fantasy VIII, by the way. If that's the reference, I'm assuming that. The Thunder and Lightning Gods. Yes. GAD has definitely shaped my entire life. Like, in hindsight, so much of my life has been shaped by GAD. Not happy about it, but it's how it is. Yeah, I like how Vampire makes you feel like a badass monster of the night until you realize you're the smallest monster in the littlest pitiful corner of the night. Lamia, Mint, agree with you 100%. It's a great theme of the game. And what I like about V5 is they tried very hard to go back to the feeling of V1, which was a bold decision, but if people don't like that, they can still play V20. That's my opinion about it. The personal horror company keeps power in check. Exactly. Human, the boring. Josh, yeah, humans are boring. There is a Hunters Hunted V20. Okay, yeah. SNI Draco, get that one. Hunters Hunted is great. And V20 content, Onyx Path V20 content, amazing stuff. Onyx Path know what they're doing. They're great writers. You like my Baba Yaga video, music and stuff. I'm glad. Baba Yaga video is absolutely one of my favorite videos that I ever made. I don't talk about it too much. I found the Russian songs that I have running in the background, and Baba Yaga is such a cool character. Definitely one of my favorite videos. I'm glad you liked it as well. Have you watched the first episode of New York by Night? I have not. Actually, I have not, because I am so bad at keeping up with these things. Also, we're approaching the hour, so I will be rounding up the stream soon. But I have not seen the first episode of New York by Night. But I know there's a Tsimishi, or however you want to pronounce it in it, and it's Alex, which makes me very happy. I want to be on the next by night. I wanna be there. I say as I have struggled with GAD. Hunter the Vigil, the Chronicle counterpart to Hunter the Reckoning. I recall being in that line. Yes, Hunter the Vigil is Chronicles. It's good. Hunter the Vigil is good. I'm right. Wraith is dense and hard to get into. Please continue making awesome videos. You do amazing work and have given so much. And Moody, thank you. Thank you. I will really try my best to get more stuff out there. Try it. What are your thoughts on the V5 direction? Josh Lee. Hi, Huddy. Hi, Huddy. Hello. How are you doing? I don't know what that sound was. Huddy, I was talking about you a little while back. I was just apologizing for freaking out on you about stuff because it's all like my anxieties. My thoughts on V5 direction, Josh Lee. That is a good question. That is a good question. My thoughts on V5. I think it's fine. I think it's good. I'm happy they're taking it in a new direction and not just making V20.2 or 0.5. V20 is still around. There's really honestly not that much you can do with the setting anymore in the old setting. So I like this direction. There's some changes I don't like. There's some stuff. I think I talked about this many different times. I think the touchstones, humanity system, not great. But could be better. I'm not saying it's bad. I think it could be better. Let's see here. I meant if you made videos on the other changing breeds. Oh, I've done that too. I've actually done it on a lot of the changing breeds, like Mokole, Rokea. I don't think I've done Naga. Not Kitsune. Actually, I've only done it like 2 or 3. Gural, I think, as well. Talking about you, yeah, I'll tell you in a second, Howdy. I'll just catch up with chat. What are my thoughts on the Salubri clan? Do you see possible resurgence in these modern nights? I absolutely see a resurgence. I'm honestly a little bit. I know this is Outstar's favorite clan, Salubri. I don't like Salubri. I think they are. I think they're annoying. This is my personal feeling about it. I think they were like someone's favorite in the office during the revised era and Dark Ages era. So they got a lot of content. They got a lot of material. Oh, Ministry, really? I thought it was, I know she loves Ministry, but I always thought it was Salubri secretly. I think they're a little bit Gary Stu-ish, the Salubri. But they're like the life counterpart to Bali, because I hate the Bali. I don't like Bali. I think they're gory for gory's sake, and I think the Salubri are just like man pain. Like I don't know. I like the new Salubri, but she RPs as a Salubro. Of course she does. I think the Salubri are fine though. I like the Cappadocians more. They're my favorite clan from Dark Ages. Cappadocians are. That's where my heart is, yeah. Cappadocians for life. What are you? I've never been able to get into Critical Role. 4 hours is too big of a commitment for me. I'd like some of their one-shots, though. Yeah, I 4 hours. The thing is, my wife, she loves Critical Role. She's obsessed with it, thanks to me. And she's a little upset that I got her into it, and then I stopped watching. I just can't. Again, my autism. I can't have something running in the background. I cannot get anything done if I have something that's going on in the background, because my brain is like, you're missing something important. You're missing something important. So my intention is shifted completely over there. My wife. So that's why I can't with Critical Role. It just doesn't work. Would you consider covering the Gehenna book or the Time of Judgment books? I would, absolutely. Down the line. I intend to cover literally everything. There's nothing I don't want to cover. It's just a matter of getting there and getting my ass back in the saddle. Still no love from Snake Boys. I love the Ministry. Like, legitimately, the best thing that ever happened to me in this channel was me doing videos on the clans I never played. The Banu Hakim, legitimately one of my favorite clans after reading the clan book. Before I read the clan book, I was like, I don't like him. Reading the clan book, I was like, holy moly, I love this clan. Like, every single clan in Vampire has so much going for it. Like, they're so well done. Really, excellent. Chef's kiss. The Blood was a rip-off. The True Blood was a rip-off of White Wolf. Yeah, but White Wolf was a rip-off of Vampire's Diary. Vampire's Diary was a rip-off of this and that. I mean, yeah, whatever. Sorry. Okay. So, let me see here. Ministry Island, spoken through Warlock. I don't like the situation. They're basically doomed to be eaten by someone eventually. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing, too. Like, the third, I just feel like the Salubri are a little bit too special, you know. What are your favorite disciplines other than the 3 physical ones? Vicissitude, vicissitude, vicissitude. That's my favorite. There you go. Vicissitude, Protean, and Obfuscate. Not necessarily in that order. Although I love Thaumaturgy, of course, but it's not really a discipline. It's like Blood Magic. Well, just want to let you know that I found your video on how to play a mystery character so helpful. I realized watching it that I was overthinking and focusing on the wrong aspects of the clan. Alicia, I'm very, very happy. I'm glad you felt that way. Yes, the ministry is so complex. I actually, that's one of the things I really enjoy about V5 is how they made the ministry much more multifaceted. I feel like Salubri are the paladins of VTM for good or bad. Yeah, absolutely, thanks, you're right. Hello, hi TDW Maverick. Maybe you'll feel different about certain clans when the player's guide comes out. When it comes out, Huddy, when it comes out, which is... I ain't seen no player's guide yet. Get on it. Do you think World of Darkness documentary where they try to take credits from movies of TV shows that they said that they influenced? I think that's a bad road to go down, Cornelius. I think you really shouldn't be digging around in who influenced what. Let things fly. I'm polishing my bald spot here. That's when I get nervous. Not that I know anything about that. Of course you don't, Huddy. Playing for Mori was the best time of my life. Bob Birkin. I think playing for Mori is cathartic in a way. I played for Mori twice. One-shots, both of them. It's fun, but you shouldn't do it seriously. Squish, happy to see you as well. Diagnosis is always an awkward start, but hopefully improves things for me. Absolutely. My life has already improved significantly since I got my diagnosis. Thank you very much. Player's Guide has long been announced. Lol, I'm just impatient for it as everyone else. Sure you are. It's not like you have access to it or anything. Oblivion for the win. I take that as my main thing without question. Oblivion is good. Looking forward to the Player's Guide. Yes. Question about demons. Can they ever physically manifest outside of apocalyptic forms? Yes. Earthbounds can, I think. And really powerful demons. The thing, Josh, is that the demons of Demon the Fallen are very, very new to Earth. So I think they're kind of bound to the human souls. If they manifest... Actually, because they're not anchored to the world. Now I remember. If you don't have a soul that you're bound to as a demon, you get pulled back into the prison that God threw you down into. Oh, the Creator threw you down into. Whereas the earthbound demons are actually bound to the earth, so they're able to manifest kind of. Imagine you might have had a creative block one time or another. How did you deal with that? The old country, creative blocks. You mean like the last year? The best way to deal with a creative block is to push publish on something. Whatever it is, make something, write something, and put. I legitimately have been toying with the idea of doing like 2-minute videos of just like very, very short stories, which is actually something I'm going to start this channel with. 2-minute videos, short stories, just to get any kind of content out there. It might not be good. Might not be the kind of stuff people want, but I just need to get something out there. Do something, yeah, and make something fun that you like. I think the idea, thinking that the reason the celebrity distrust is so high was because back in the day, no one understood that the healing powers of the mind was making people unable to process emotions correctly. Okay, I didn't know that, actually. That's interesting. TikToks, perhaps? No, that's never happening. I'm planning on using some demons, not Bali, to my game. I was wondering where to find information on them that are not related to the Fallen. There is a Dark Ages book on demons. I don't quite recall what it's called, but it's a Dark Ages book that's very, very useful for that stuff. Larger series on demon, what elements would you want to see in the modern revamp of it? Personally, I would like to see less self-focus and about make religion focus. Squishes, I think I said that in my post-mortem on demon, that I would have liked it more if it was more like household spirits, in the sense that like, yeah, just bad spirits, like goblins and trolls, and like obviously Changeling kind of has that aspect to it, but if it was more like house gods, minor deities, creatures that are like hard to define instead of like demons. And maybe you were the people who created the earth, but that was a long time ago and you don't remember that stuff. You've already put my face on your TikTok? Yeah, I'm there. I'm on TikTok. I'm on the Chinese spy app. I know how it is. Personal thoughts about V5. The La Sombra joined the camp to take over from their weakened state. Absolutely, I agree. The La Sombra saw the winning side. Whether or not it will succeed, I don't know. But the La Sombra, it wasn't a desperate move as much as a, yeah, this Sabbat thing is not working. We're jumping ship. I feel like their difficulty to adapt to the humanity system again has been underplayed a little bit. So that's something I'm not entirely happy about. There should have definitely been more in the Chicago source book about that, I think. I was just thinking about Salubri and Paladins and Chess and all things to talk about. Yeah. So Huddy, very quick. What I was telling people is that during our post game sessions of Blood on the Grand Strand, I remember I told you I was very frustrated about things, and in hindsight I realized that like 95% of that frustration was the fact that me playing in your game as Anthony, I didn't have any control over the situation, which at the time I was already feeling in so much else of my life that I was just it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and it was in no way or shape or form your fault. It was me projecting my emotions onto the game and the character in the game, and me getting diagnosed with autism and GAD has really put a different perspective on that, and I've realized that that's literally as a content creator, I've more and more gotten closer to this, to like the Venn diagram of me as like my diagnosis and my personal issues. I don't even know if that makes any sense, but yeah, anxiety is a bitch, and it really has been a very eventful year, and has really affected me a lot as a person. There's a lot of people watching now, Jesus Christ. I guess it's a very clickbaity title to this video. Really hope to see some Salubri Bane changes in the PG. It's incredibly punishing. Yeah, it's incredibly punishing. If you watch Blood on the Grand Strand, I don't think there was a single session where, on the other hand, Harry literally invited every situation where he used his powers to, like, no thought to his own survival, had himself bleeding profusely from his forehead with a bunch of hungry vampires around him. He literally wanted to get theorized. You cannot convince me otherwise. Yeah, definitely love the idea of 2-minute videos. Hope we get some VOD shenanigans from your end. I had a really funny TikTok idea that I sent to Huddy, and she gave the approval, and I never did it. So I might do it. Clan Malkavians, and do you think V5 did a good job of guiding people on how to play them? I think V5 did the best job it could do. I think Malkavians, okay, I said I've turned around on Malkavians. I said I like Malkavians a lot more now. I do, because I can relate to them, and I'm finally realizing that I'm cringe, so I can be free. But I still don't like Malkavians in the sense of derangements, as they're called. I really like the idea of them being the Sibylla, the oracles, the soothsayers, the future, the people who can see into the future. That's the aspect of Malkavians that I like the most. And I like them just basically being extremely true to themselves, which I think is very rare in vampire society. So that they're free, they're cringe, so they are free. I like that approach to Malkavians more than straight jacket, sitting in a cell, painting on the walls with your own poop, because that's a very harmful stereotype, first of all, and I think that's such a limiting approach to a clan. If you want to avoid the pitfalls of the Salubri, then learn to deal with lawful stupid. What do I think about V5? Jesse Lee, or Jesse Lee. I like it. I like V5. Next question. Sorry, I don't mean to be dismissive. I've had that question so many times. I like it. People get very salty at me for liking V5 content. I don't care. I think V5 is perfectly adapted to a new time of role-playing games. V20 is still around. V20 is great. There was only so much you could do with that. V5 is a new approach. I like it. I still prefer Revised. Revised is still my favorite edition. So even if I like V5, if I get to choose, Revised all the way. Yeah, he did put himself into those situations. He really has a death wish. He has a death wish that's extremely strong. I got autism, and it's a big turn off of how Malkavians return sometimes. Yeah, music and stuff, that's also the thing. Like, Malkavians are written by people who did not understand how it is to be neurodivergent, and I don't understand how it is to be neurodivergent, and I understand my own way of my own suppression of my neurodiversity, my own suppression of my own difference, and I think I would play a Malkavian really well, but I don't want him. I really don't want to play Malkavian, and I don't think I ever will, because I just don't think they're. I just don't think they're. I think they're too tightly bound to their role. On the other hand, I think X is probably the best Malkavian I've ever seen played on LA by Night. So there you go. I also think the Ministry players need to actually understand what the concept of the clan is. Yes, they're seductive, but they don't have to be played as monotone orgy-crazed lunatics. Exactly. Ministry is all about the liberating idea of Ministry. The Ministry is the devil card of the tarot deck. The devil card represents your suppressed emotions, your inner desires, your personal liberty. It's very close to Satanism. I don't know how to say Satanism. Like the Lavoie Satanism, is that what it's called? Where it's basically just about personal liberty. Where it's about it's anarchy in a sense, kind of. So they are literally the tempting snake, but they're tempting you to make your own decisions, tempting you to appeal to your own desires, to not feel held back by society's morals and rules. And that's kind of the keys to the Ministry, whether that is in a religious form or whether that is in like a provider of weapons or drugs or prostitutions, whatever you want. The Ministry is about dark freedom, basically, which is not a good thing. They're not good people, but no vampires are good people. Crying, but I'm cringe but free is such a freeing phrase, right? I am cringe and I am free. It's nice. The key word for Malkavians for me is the perception. Doesn't have to be true or not, but they just see, hear things differently. Port Saga has incredibly protagonists. I will look into that. Yeah, Malkavians about perception, basically. I started having more fun with Malkavians when I learned how to act more freely and having fun with my character that acted as the heart of the group. Clever trickster, jester, archetype goes better without leaning into bad, loony old images. Exactly. You're like the heart of the group in a sense. You're like the kid in Captain Planet. I think Malkavians, they can be a huge variety. But the thing is, the fact is, Malkavians can be very different, just like every other clan. But people who play Malkavians tend to play them in a very specific way. So they kind of limit themselves, even though they don't have to, because Malkavian stereotype is so strong, I think. And Bloodlines really didn't do the clan any justice in that regard. Yeah, true, Victor. Actually, I have a house rule 5 for Malkavians, and you inspire me for it. There's a clan weakness. They see things that were or might be there. Yeah. Overacting is really bad. Overacting. And I think that's the heart of it. If every role-playing game is about giving and taking, you have to make sure not to bump into others' moments. That's just as an aside, the most valuable thing you can have as a player at the table is when to know when to shut up. Because a lot of times the storyteller, especially in games like Vampire, will have scenes prepared for a specific player in mind. They'll be like, okay, this player has this touchstone, I wanted this to happen. Don't butt in. Let it happen. If the player asks you for help, get involved. You can ask the player, should I get involved, or in character if they're in the same place. But don't butt in. Don't make it about you. Learn to spot when the game is not about you, and you will have a much better game. That's probably the most important tip I can give to any player of Vampire. I struggled a lot with that as a kid. I wanted to be in every literal situation, and it made me a horrible person to play with. Beauty of TTRPGs is that you can change parts of the lore as you see fit. Exactly. You don't have to follow the lore. Don't have to at all. Port Sagas have Spotify audio drama. Can't recommend it enough. Got a dash. Okay, Squishes. I will absolutely check it out. Spotify radio dramas sounds like the bomb. Sometimes Malkavian's Adventure are really hard to tell apart. They both play well. The genius of the Malkavian can look a lot like the ruthless cunning of the Ventru. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. The Ventru, again, they get such a bad rep. They are genuinely very concerned about the bigger pictures, and they have a stick up their ass. It's not their fault. Gout is another character that really puts the Malkavian condition in perspective. Yes. As a TTRPG horror story connoisseur, that's called main character syndrome. Exactly. Main character syndrome, get over it. Charles Landsberg, hi. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you for the love. You caught me right at the tail end of the stream. This was not supposed to be this long. I have a thing coming up in a while. But again, I want to say thank you to everyone for sticking with this channel and for making this place amazing. My Discord is in the links. I can post a link, an invitation to the Discord here as well. I will check out New York by Night. I really, I'm so behind on these things. But now finally I can say I know why I can't focus on actual places, because I legitimately can't focus on anything else. This was a really good time. I'm very happy to get this off my chest. This is just a spur of the moment thing. Just get the stream going, get it out of the way. I have autism. I have GAD. I'm dealing with it. I'm getting medication for my physical anxiety syndromes, which are quite frankly debilitating to the point where at times I've been unable to do anything but panic and cry. Those are getting dealt with. The beta blockers are amazing. If you ever feel anxious and you don't know what it is, get yourself checked out. GAD is really common. CBT, which is not cock and ball torture, it's it's cognitive behavioral therapy, is really good at helping you out with that. It helps you put yourself into situations and take you out of the situations for it. Peace out, everyone. There will be new content coming very soon. I have content. I have 4 scripts that I need to record and do videos off, and this really motivated me to get things going. Have a great summer. I will see you in 2 weeks. At least in 2 weeks, where I will do a charity stream for Doctors Without Borders to celebrate 3 years of this channel. 3 years. Oh my god. I would say 2 years because of all the downtime. Love you all. Now remember, stay safe out there. Now remember, be safe out. No. Stay safe. God, it's been so long. Stay safe there. Hold on, I gotta look this up. The Primogen, his Gehenna, soon be upon us. Oh look, the Primogen is streaming. I should check him out. Ah man, there's ads. This guy's with ads in all his videos. Whatever, stay fake. Gehenna will soon be upon us. Stay fake out there. This guy's with ads in his videos. I'm not gonna watch his videos. Stay fake. Touch grass. Be cringe and enjoy yourselves. Love you all. Take care. Bye bye.